Hello and welcome to episode number 57 on the Online Trainers Podcast. Today's topic, what can you learn from Mr. Donald Trump? Hello and welcome to the Online Trainers Podcast, where we go behind the scenes to uncover the latest tactics and strategies top trainers around the world are using to get more clients, dominate their marketplace, and get their clients amazing results. There is absolutely no fluff here. I'm your host, Lynn Trim. Now, guys, we are in a completely different world. And if you're listening to this podcast episode live as we speak, Mr. Donald Trump has just been elected as the US president, which for some of you, that may be a fantastic thing. You may have celebrated this new era of change. And for others of you on the other side of the spectrum, right, you're scared, you're fearful, you feel as though the world's going to come to an end, you're uncertain. And what I want you to realize, and what I want to be able to share with you today, is that the only person that can really control your destiny, your future, no matter who and what is happening anywhere in the world, is yourself. Okay, you have complete control. You need to take it you need to grab life by the balls right at this very second. You need to have certainty within yourself to go out there and start creating. And once you start understanding that your job is to create value in this world, your job is to solve problems, your job is to be able to learn how to be persuasive enough, okay, to get people to understand and utilize your abilities to solve their problems, you will never ever go hungry again. And so for a lot of us, we tend to base, and putting the election aside, and it was a great election, it was messy, but there are a lot of lessons that can be learnt, and there are a lot of lessons that were taught in this election. And I want to go through a few of the things that I really learnt, and the things that I gravitated towards, the things that I got pulled towards. I'm here in Melbourne, Australia, and yet, we're watching this election from all over the world. We're wondering what's happening, but we can't ignore the fact that throughout the whole 18 months, Donald Trump mesmerized most of us with his gravitating language. He was either standing for or against something. He was pushy. He was out of the norm. And what can you learn from this? Well, at the end of the day, he won. He got towards his goal. He was elected president, or he is elected president, and he's going to start in January 2017. But what can you learn from this is that people follow leaders. Okay, if you look at the two candidates, if you look at Hillary Clinton, and I'm not here to preach about politics. I have no interest in politics. I have no idea, anybody that has interest in them, good for them. But I'm here to have a look and extract the key fundamentals and really the key things that allowed him to win. Because if we can take on the things that he did, and we can look at the trends and the movement he created to win, we can use that. In every situation, there is a positive and there's a negative. It just depends on which side of the coin you're looking at, okay, and which side you're on. But the first thing is, no matter what happens, no matter what your thoughts and beliefs are, do not let any of the external environment around you, whether it's your friends, your family, the opinion of others, your peers, your mentors, right, the President of the United States, don't let that affect you. Because you see these massive movement leaders, people like Richard Branson, these people like Elon Musk. It's a change for them, and they're running billion-dollar companies, and they're going to find that it's going to be inconvenient. That's the word. If they are not for Trump. If they are for Trump, they're going to ride the wave. If they're not for Trump, their mindset is, wow, this is inconvenient. What can we do to get around this now? And so what I noticed as well is that a lot of people started to get into this victim mentality. And the victim mentality is going, oh my God, I can't do this anymore because Donald Trump is now elected president. I'm not going to begin. I'm not going to get started. I'm going to put my hopes and dreams on the line because it's all ruined. Everything's ruined now. When you fall into victim mentality, trust me, nothing happens. What I'm here to tell you is not just to motivate, to inspire you, but to teach you the big lessons of what you can take away. Okay, but firstly, it's time to step up and go, people gravitate towards leaders. That is the first lesson of today. The first lesson is who had more certainty, okay? Who was the person that was more certain throughout the whole campaign? Was it Hillary or was it Trump? Who was a more defiant leader, perceived as a leader? That you might argue that Trump's not a leader, and I agree. Right, but who was perceived as being a more certain leader? in their messaging. That's one of the big things that I want you to understand. In this world where people are uncertain, where your clients are uncertain, where your prospects are uncertain, people gravitate towards leaders, because you know what? If your clients feel as though you're the leader and you're certain about their message, they have certainty and trust in you if you have certainty in yourself. And for Trump, it was just so certain that he was going to make America great again, amongst all this babble, right? But that was his one core message, which leads me to my next logical statement. Okay, and that is, what is your one thing? For Trump, make America great again. For Hillary, it's a lot of babble. Okay, it was a lot of different babble. I didn't really understand what it was. And so when you can have this one core message that you believe in, whether it's, I'm going to train, no cardio. That is the message, and you do everything you can to penetrate that marketplace to go no cardio. You're vegan, okay? If you don't advocate for supplements, you are anti-supplement. That is your one message, but it needs to be clear, because when you start mixing 4 to 5 different messages, there's no cardio, no supplements, no nothing, and I do flexible dieting, it starts to go, well, I don't know what you're about then. The one thing that was clear with Trump was that he was going to do one thing. He was going to do that one thing, and it was to make America great again. And everything else, he related back to that one thing. The veterans, the troops, the business, the economy, all that tied into that one message, that one core message, which then resonated with people. Okay, so that's another thing that I learned. And the last thing that I want to go through with you today, and if you have to go back through this podcast and listen, because these are very powerful things. I mean, the man just, came out of nowhere, created this massive movement. Sure, he was a billionaire, but people wanted change. And they wanted leaders, and they wanted certainty, they wanted someone they could trust. And you know what? With Donald, they felt as though they could trust him, and America voted, regardless of your opinion. Okay, and the last thing is create a cause that is bigger than yourself. And if you have a look at the one thing that Donald Trump played off, is it was making America great again. It wasn't about him, it was about the people, okay? It was about their unheard voices, it was about the fact that things have been crap for so long, okay? And so he decided he's going to step up and he's going to create this culture that people could resonate with. That is, the people of America had been completely lied to, and they've been completely played for the past 10, 15 years. So what I'm trying to tell you to do is you need to take these key components, especially if you want to penetrate through the marketplace, and do exactly what Trump did. And he did the impossible, right? Because he had all the odds against him. Completely all the odds. And so what I want you to do is think about how well this man positioned himself. What are the key fundamentals, and what can you learn from his campaign that you can utilize in your business? Okay, the key themes to grow your business, to excel your business, to push you past all the noise, right? He didn't have any of the advertising spend. He didn't have to spend any money on advertising. He didn't go all over the news, and he didn't have the news and the media on his side. Right? And that's the world we live in at this moment in time, because we are exposed to social media, and the truth will always reveal itself. People gravitate more to social media than they do on the news. They don't trust the news, they gravitate to social media. And if you follow Donald Trump, he had 40 to 50 times as many engagement on his videos than Hillary did. On his Facebook Live, he constantly had way more engagement. People saw that, people gravitated towards that. Whereas Hillary was so 1990s, right? She was so, I'm going to campaign on TV, and I'm going to have media, and I'm going to door knock. Whereas Trump used social media a lot more. And that's the world we live in. Last thing I want you to understand is, what movement are you creating that's bigger than yourself that people can resonate with? Okay, what I mean by that is, Trump said, we are going to make America great again. We are going to, right, stick up, because the American people are tired of this crap, this BS that's been floating around for so long. And what I want you to realize is, how can you use that in your marketplace to create something that people can gravitate towards? Are people yo-yo dieting? People training with bodybuilding splits? And you're like, holy, that's crap. Like, you're not getting any gains because you're training 6 days a day, 6 times a week, and you're training a single body part a day. And that's the wrong way to do it. Like, you're tired because you're not seeing gains. This is how you do it. I want to show you how to train 3 times a week. What movement can you create based on the pains of your current prospects? The pains of their prospects. They're not getting results. Just like the American weren't getting results with the Democrats, right? Just like the Americans weren't getting results with the Democrats. Trump used that as his one big movement. I will show you how to get out of this corrupt marketplace. And so when you think about your clients, your prospects, how many of them have bought subs and haven't gotten results? How many have joined MLM networks? Not that I am for or against, I have no opinion on them, okay? I do, but I won't state it. How many of your clients have been yo-yo dieting, been promised, been lied to, that now you can become almost this beacon of light that can take them away and go, I'm actually going to help you because this is the movement. It's not about me anymore. This is what I'm called to do. This is what my mission is. This is what my legacy will be built on. I'm going to take that bodybuilding split and I'm going to tear it to shreds because that's not the way you train. I used to train like that and I used to think that I had to have protein and carbs after my workout or I'd shrink. I could go in and this comes back to your journey and this comes back to you and why you got into fitness in the first place. And I tell you this time and time again, I got into fitness in the first place because I saw a YouTube video of Mike Chang. And I was like, holy crap, that Asian guy looks buff. I'm an Asian guy. Could I look like him? Cool. I can look like him if I buy his supplement. Cool. Okay, I'll buy his workout as well. $150 later, right? I've got all his supplements, nothing changes. And the fact is, what did I think? I thought, wow, okay, well, it must not have worked for me, right? Because it's working for everyone else. Couldn't have got scammed. Because the last thing that we want to think about is that we're stupid. So we'll tell ourselves anything. And this is what your prospects are going through. This is why it's good to go back into memory lane and understand what it's like to be in their shoes. Because at the time, I didn't want to admit that I got scammed. I didn't want to tell people. They'd laugh at me, right? And there'd be shame, guilt. And so I told myself a story and I said, nah, well, look, maybe I didn't take enough. Maybe if I bought 2 bottles and I double dosed on it. Okay, cool. So I bought 2 bottles. Okay, well, maybe the formulation's wrong. Maybe I didn't do his workout. Maybe I didn't have the pills exactly 5 minutes before my meal. And so there are a lot of things that goes around. And what you need to realize is in order to talk to your marketplace, your prospects, and create this movement, you need to understand them, right? Don't think about you now. Think about you back then, what got you back into the fitness industry. Think about what you're feeling like back then. I know because for a long time, I didn't think about what it felt like back then. But now I look back and I laugh and then I start to ask myself, well then, why didn't I just admit that it was a scam? Why didn't I admit that those supplements were a scam? Because I didn't want to feel stupid. And you will tell yourself things to make yourself not feel stupid. So I was telling myself things like, well, I'm not taking enough of it. So I doubled the dose, right? Oh, well, maybe if I took it, it says take it 5 minutes before my workout. Maybe I took it like 10 minutes and it didn't kick in, right? Stupid, but that's exactly what I was feeling. And the fact is, if I can resonate with this guy, if I can talk to him, I can say, Lynn, it's not that. It's not the 2 pills. I know exactly what you're doing because I've been there. It's not the fact that you need a double dose. In fact, your double dose is going to do more damage to your kidneys and liver. The fact is, and then I can tell him the fact is we can go test these supplements out and realize that they were BSing because they were only 10% of the proprietary ingredients. Okay, but I can relate and then I can tell him that no, it's okay, you've been lied to, it's not your fault. But so many other people have been lied to. And by telling me that makes me feel okay. That makes me feel like I've been innocent. But if I've been lied to, if I was the only one who got scammed and it didn't work for, well, I'd be feeling really, really stupid. So 3 things that you can learn from Donald Trump. Okay, so I really want you to reflect, but the big thing that I want you to take away from today is the one big thing he promised. And how can you promise that one big thing and create a movement that's just beyond yourself? And what I mean by that is the one thing that he promised was make America great again. What is the one thing that you're promising to your clients that every single message relates back to that one thing? Okay? Do you do no cardio? Great. Everything that you do around your blog posts, around your social media relates back to no cardio. Every single testimonial you put up, no cardio, no cardio. Every food and things that you do, you might go to the extreme. And this is the one thing that you get wheelchaired around because you don't do any cardio. Right? But you need to be able to penetrate that marketplace from all sorts of different angles, because when you feel as though you've said that message enough, people are only starting to catch on. You might have to say it 1,000 times for it to be heard once. I can tell you how many times that Donald Trump would have said, make America great again. If we did that, he would have said it about 100,000 times throughout the last 18 months, possibly even more. Right? But the fact is you and I probably heard it 10 times. And he would have thought, wow, this thing, I'm just getting sick and tired of this. How many times do I have to tell these people that I have to make America great again? So to him, he's probably said 100,000 times. He's probably got sick and tired of his message. We've only heard it 10 times. But it's stuck with us because he's penetrated through that. Okay, and he's hammered that home and time again. Now, that is your one task today, is to think about your one thing. What's your one core message that people can resonate with? Try to dip it back down. I know there are many things, but what's the ultimate thing that you're trying to promise? And the ultimate thing here, think about this. My ultimate thing is I want to help trainers build legacy. I want to help them micro niche down, step onto their island, become the best in their field to change the world, to actually help more people. Okay, I want to create more leaders in the fitness industry because there's a lot of personal trainers out there want to make money, but don't want to do the work. I'm not interested in them. I'm interested in the great trainers who want to actually step up, who actually want to create a following. So what is your one thing? What is your one movement that you want to create? What is that one thing that you stand for that you can create this mass movement, and then you can work on the pains? Just like how I was eating, chewing 100 pills a day to get some abs and I was getting fatter. What is that one thing that you talk about and you can really penetrate because you feel it and you know your marketplace? When you get that one thing, post it inside the Online Trainers Club. Let me hear about it. And hopefully Trump will make America great again for the sake of the world. But it's going to be a very, very interesting couple of days. But once again, guys, I want you to share this podcast episode because you need to keep yourself accountable. Okay, you can't listen to this in the car. You can't listen to this while you're walking and not take action, because yes, listening to it makes you feel good. Knowledge makes you feel good. It releases endorphins. You go, right, I know a little bit more. But at the end of the day, if you don't do anything, it's going to stack up. And the longer you take to not do anything, the longer you take to do something, the harder it is. Okay, because you're like, well, I know so much now. I don't know what to do. The first step is go and do. So your first task for today is go and send this podcast episode to your trainer, to another trainer, a friend, someone that you can work with to start building your business and keep yourself accountable to. The second task today is, what is your one thing? Have a fantastic day. I'll see you on the next episode.
Alright, if you enjoyed this podcast, please leave me a 5-star review on iTunes and feel free to leave a review. In that way, I can respond and I can take that on board in developing content to serve you. Now, if you're not a part of the Online Trainers Club on Facebook, please do yourself a favor and be a part of the conversation. That's where I add daily tips, tricks, and strategies on how you can build out funnels, how you can get more clients, and ultimately become a better online coach. Thank you for listening.